Hi everybody, welcome to the Arcade Buffet. Today we're going to do something a little more techish. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 19-inch chassis and a 25-inch chassis and combine the two to put them on a yoke and tube that has a 11/12 pin neck, or fat neck as they're called, versus an 8-pin skinny neck, which is what this one here is, and a standard stock Wells 25-inch K7 using my test tube that I swapped, using a 11 to 12 pin neck board to run on this tube, which I've already decased from the TV and already got into the tube, or into the frame, I'm sorry. I've already changed the yoke connector, or not the yoke connector, I'm sorry, the degauss connector and the yoke connector, so that they will accommodate and fit on a K7000 chassis without having to clip or cut any of the wires. As you can see, I have went ahead and left the original degauss wire attached to the tube, and also the dag wire is attached to the tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this K7000 19-inch chassis, which has been running on this tube and looks fantastic. I've adjusted it, done a cap kit, flyback and everything to it. That'll be in another video. But we're going to take this neck board right here, which is an 8-pin neck board. We're going to take it off. And then this chassis here, which I'm going to plug in here for a second and show you that everything works and all the colors look good. We're going to take this neck board, which is the fat neck 11/12 pin neck, and we're going to put it on this chassis here, and then we're going to put this chassis on this tube. So I will show you some things here in just a minute, so be right back. Alright, just so you can see it again before I swap this and put this in the tripod, this is the 19-inch that we're going to use. As you can see, chassis is running fantastic. Everything looks good. Alright, well, what we're going to do is going to put the camera here in the tripod. And what we're going to do is we're going to swap live so that way you can see both chassis running as they should. I already have them hooked up and ready to be just plugged in. So I'm going to take the video cable loose and the power. I'm going to set this tube down so I have room to work. And we're going to pull this tube over. See if you can still see it. Yeah, I'm almost there. Okay. Take and plug sorry for the loud squeaks, but that's what it is. Plug the video cable in and plug the power in. As it comes up here, as you can see, I've already had this tube, or this chassis running and adjusted to this tube. It's a little dark, I've turned down the flyback, but as you can see it works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the chassis and we're going to get them ready to fit onto this other tube. Normally you would degauss this, but K7s discharge pretty quick, so we're going to skip that step here. Alright, now move this tube out of the way. I forgot to take off the dag wire, so sorry about that, but that won't affect the operation. this chassis off. Not forgetting the dag wire this time. Alright, just up here. Alright, now as you can see, we have both K7000s on the bench here. Alright, as you can see, that is your 25-inch that has 11-12 pin neck board, and that one, as you can see, a big difference, has 8 pins. So now what we're going to do is we're going to swap neck boards. This will take just a minute, not too long. Must remove. Sorry if this is not all on camera, but we must remove the G1 wire, and then we need to remove the focus wire. As you can see, we've got everything pretty much loose. Now, remove. Move the neck board. Alright, so there we have our 19-inch neck board, which we're not going to use. So we're going to set that off to the side. And do the same thing here. Remove the 25-inch. Same thing. Remove the G1. G1 wire. Now we must remove our focus wire. Okay. That wire and that set of cables. Alright, now we have our 25-inch neck board, our 25-inch chassis, which we are going to set off to the side. Back over our 19-inch chassis. And proceed to hook everything back up. What's nice about the K7000 is the neck boards are interchangeable. So that way when you get a 19-inch with a yoke that is compatible but has a fat neck on it, you don't have to do a yoke swap all the time. That's what makes this thing this chassis very durable and very versatile in the arcade world, especially for tube swapping. So okay, get our focus wire on. Let's put the back clip back on. Alright, next we will solder on our G1. Alright, now we'll go ahead and reinstall the ground for the neck. Alright, now, as you can see, we now have a 19-inch chassis with a 25-inch neck board. Now, I've never fired this up on this tube, so this will be a first for me as well. But what you need to do is, before you can determine whether your tube is going to be good or not, there's a couple things you need to do, and this is kind of a poor example, but you have a label on your tube. This one here appears to be gone. I'm not sure if it was ever there, but it was there at one point, and I looked it up, but there's a number. It's hard to see on this, but this one says A48KRD82X. Well, you type that in to a very wonderful monitor tool to see if your tube is compatible. Well, this tube is compatible, but it has the, like I said, 12-pin necks. Most K7000s use the 8-pin necks. So what you need to do to also determine whether your tube is compatible or not, you also have to measure the yoke. So take and put your meter on ohms. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but you also need to measure your pairs. So there are two separate pairs. So first we're going to measure the green and the yellow pair. Put it on ohms, stick it in, and on the higher pair you are looking for, which should be your vertical pair, you're looking for a range of between 0.8 to no higher than 14 point and some change. This one here is about as high as I would take it. Now on your horizontal pair you're looking for a range of about 1.0 to roughly 4.0. I would not take it any higher than 4. But if you take it up to the 4, your vertical pair must be higher than 8 point something. So that's how you measure it, and this yoke appears to be compatible. So we're going to proceed and hook up the chassis. Now, I don't have a mating connector for this, so we're going to go ahead and cut it off and just use the bare wires, which you can put another quick connector on, or wire nut, or anything you would like to, you know, doesn't matter. Alright, now our yoke, hook up our D-gauze, put the chassis in, get a screw, and so we hold the chassis in so it doesn't come out during testing for adjustment. You should have two in there, but for this purpose, one is just fine. Alright, go ahead and hook up the yoke, or the anode, I'm sorry, second anode. And put on our neck board, hook up our dag wire, twisting them together is just fine for this test. Okay, now we need to go over and make our check all our connections. We have our dag wire hooked up, we have our G1 soldered, we have our neck or our focus wire in, we have our second anode in, we have our D-gauze, and we have our yoke. So now we will go ahead and plug in the video signal. Alright, now here will be the moment of truth. Make sure we got, sorry about the image, but it will be vertical. And it appears my disc is about to die, so we will be back in just a second. Alright, we're back. Had to change discs. These discs don't have very much room on them, and I don't have a camera that records with a memory card. So, back to what we were doing. We hooked everything up and get ready to apply the power. See what happens. And look at that. We have an image. Now, mind you, this is not adjusted to this tube, so we will have to do some adjustments to it. Now, what we'll do is we'll start with centering all the controls, which are mostly centered. Turn down the contrast, and we will center all the pots on the neck board, so that way we have a base to go from. And then what we'll do is, you can see, have brightness control, and we have focus. So what we're going to do is going to go into our test menu. This will be a real quick video, a real quick demonstration on how to converge it, or to color balance the tube as well. So go into the diagnostic test, go down to our monitor patterns, come down to our color bars. Alright, now we've already tested all the controls on this chassis, so I already know they all work. Now what we'll do is we'll take our flyback and turn our brightness level down and watch our black until it goes to black. Now on your neck board, what you want to do is, there's what they call drive pot, your drive, and your cutoffs. Well, what we want to do is we want to adjust our drives first. We'll do each color individually. So we turn it up and we watch our black, and we make it turn it all the way down to where it's just black. Move to our cutoff, do the same thing, turn it all the way up, turn it down, 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 down until it goes black. Move to the next color, which would be green, turn the drive up, turn it all the way down, 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 down until it's black. Same thing with the cutoff, all the way down, and then blue, turn it all the way down until it goes black. Same thing for your drive, turn it all the way down until it comes black. Now, since I have adjusted the contrast and the brightness to their mechanical centers, now we have contrast and brightness control. So now we can adjust the contrast up until the colors start to smear. See how they smear? And then we can back it off until all the smear goes away. Now, if we need to, we have a little bit of brightness control. So depending on how your game is set up, you can now have a little bit of brightness control. So, but as you can see, These colors in this tube and this chassis swap look just fine. Ignore the snow. And that is my test station. So now that we have it out here, wait for this to come up, we can fine tune our contrast, and we can turn the brightness down just a little bit with using the fly. So that way we still have a little bit of contrast control. But as you can see, there is a tube that was out of a TV that has not had the yoke change, that has compatible yoke readings, that I did not change the degauss wire on, and I took a 19-inch K7000 chassis, a 25-inch K7000 chassis, and combined the two using the neck boards to have a 19-inch fat neck K7000. So now you don't have to worry about doing tube swaps, or not tube swaps, yoke swaps. Makes it nice, easy. Picture is already converged. It looks beautiful as it stands. And now fine tuning when it gets into his game. So there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them at the bottom of this video. Visit my site, thearcadebuffet.com, for parts and stuff and more. Shoot me an email, thearcadebuffet@gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed this video as I enjoyed making it. So, talk at you soon.